back, y'all. So today I have some big news. I guess before we get into that, you guys have been asking where the F-150 is. Well, I don't have it anymore, but I did get something else that's really cool. So the F-150 is gone, but I exchanged it for this giant pile of trash. This pile of trash also came with 4.5 acres of land. But the best part is what's right behind you guys. So what you guys can see over here behind me is our barndominium. So this is it's about 40 feet wide, and I'll have to look at the plans when we get inside. I should know this off the top of my head, but I believe it is about 65 feet long, and there is a massive shop on the other side of it. But before we head in there, I'll give you guys a quick tour of what we've got going on outside here, and just show you that we have a ton of work to take care of out here. But once we get this property cleaned up, it's gonna be amazing. So as you can see, there's a lot of trash here. Prior to us buying this place, there was a barn that sat right here. But in the last couple of years, the barn fell over. And it was an older gentleman that owned this house. He passed away, and that's why this place came up for sale. And he just didn't have time to clean it. There's a big hole over here, and his niece and nephew, or whoever was selling the house, they were out here actively with like a backhoe, and they were gonna just light this all on fire and then push what was left into this hole. But as soon as I got out here to look at this house, I noticed that there are massive beams. Like this one beam right here is probably 10 foot long. There's another huge one in here that I know of. There's a couple there. It's big beams. So I wanted to try to save some of these, but I also got to looking around, and you can see right there that there's a whole car bumper just chilling in there. Like this fell full of stuff. So we'll come over here a little ways, and you can see the hole that they had opened up, and they were already dumping stuff in there. So I need to maybe go through a little bit of that, but that looks to mostly be trash. But there was just, this barn fell over and it was full of stuff. There was a bunch of hay in there, I think. But as you can see, yeah, gas cans, all sorts of junk. So one of our big missions is going to be to go through all this stuff as we try to clean all of this. But there's more junk. I mean, that's a stamped concrete form. Some of you guys are probably familiar with that. That thing is still usable, absolutely. Like, yeah. I'm too much of a hoarder to let all this stuff just get pushed into a pit. So we're gonna take a lot of effort to clean all of this stuff up, and I don't have the equipment to do it, but I'm excited to go through all of the junk. You can see there's just wheels and tires all over the place. We've got some footings probably from the barn out here. Keep walking through here a little ways. Mower handle, just a bunch of junk. Here's my new wood pile. It's probably a little hard to see. There's a bunch there. It all is going to need to be split. But there's also wood all over out here that needs to be cleaned and split and all of that stuff. I have a ton of work out here. And if you keep walking this way, over here we have more trash. And it's a bunch of fence posts. There's like a railroad tie, just a random door, bunch of junk. It looks like there was a pit over here. Maybe they had filled in with junk. There's more junk over there. You can see that tree needs to come down. Lots of work to be done. But all the trees that you see are mine. And going off that way, the property actually goes a little bit farther. We're head over that way now. It is nice though, there are open areas, so once we get this all cleaned up, it's gonna be really nice. There used to be an entrance on that side of the property, and there's actually a culvert there in the ditch, so we could open this back up and like move the driveway to this side. It came in and went that way around the barn that was sitting right here. All of these trees are mine. I really wish you guys would have seen this with leaves on the trees. We've been working on this deal for a couple of months now, and when we started looking at it, when we first saw it, there were still leaves everywhere. So you couldn't even quite see how much trash was out here, because there's another big trash pile over here that I didn't even know was here until like after we closed on the property. A couple more big chunks of wood. Just junk everywhere. But there's a little shed, so we'll go check that out quick. So it's nothing fancy. It definitely needs re-siding, but it's there. So I measured this. I'll go ahead and pop it open for you guys. The inside measures about 13 foot. 13 foot by 13 foot. And it came with some more free wheels and tires. Dude, there's a bunch of wheels and tires out here. These are 5-lug. They might actually fit on the van. I don't know, we'll see, but there's a full set there. More wheels and tires and just junk. Oh, look at that license plate. There you go. Some parts for a mower that is in the garage. So it came with a mower. Close this back up before I forget. Heave ho. Not a fancy shed, but we've got one. So as you come back around here, bunch of trash on the ground, big tree that has fallen over. So that's going to take some effort to clean up. And then we've got another trash pile. This one looks to be fairly old. And I think he was using it for a while, because there's barrels that, I'm gonna trip over something. There's barrels that he was using as burn barrels and whatnot, and there's just trash out here. But if you come back this way, we'll head out to the very edge of the property here. I do have neighbors. You can see them over there. We aren't completely out here by our lonesome. There's neighbors in every direction within like, I think the closest is probably a quarter mile. That's probably a quarter, maybe a half mile away. But there's a lot of little game trails run through here. And if you can see, the fence right here, this is all mine. And then there's quite a bit of room before you get to the tree line. Let's just walk all the way up to the corner. And one of you keen-eyed hunters is going to see, yeah, there's a game trail right there. So standing up here at the edge of the property, see the house over there, my forest, and then all the tree line, and then the fence line here. You can see that there's quite a bit of property on this side. All right, y'all. Well, why don't we get wandered back over this way? Let's head on inside, and I'll show you guys the house. Now, bear with me on this one. While it is a barndominium, and these are all the rage right now, and a lot of them are super fancy, this one is not. This one is very quirky. It's gonna take some work, but it's still an amazing property. I'm super stoked to have it. So I mentioned earlier that it was an older gentleman that lived here. He did a lot of the work on this place himself. Like, I know he built all the cabinetry himself, which at some point we're probably going to replace, but they were done all right. Pretty sure he's the one that tiled the floor, and I can show you why. I think it was a homeowner job. There's just a lot of stuff like that. But we have all the drawings and the plans for the house, so it was really nice that that came with it. And we've got the ability to change out whatever we want as we go into the future. It's going to be a while before we do anything wild like that. Got to pay some of this debt down first, you know what I'm saying? But super stoked to have it. It's beautiful with our own little covered porch here. Let's head on inside. So, as you open the front door, you walk in to this entryway. In fact, I'm going to switch over to a different camera that's got a little bit wider lens. All right, guys, there. We switched over to a different camera. This will give you a little bit better view. I know it is a super wide kind of fisheye lens, but this is going to be better in here. So you walk in and you've got this entryway that's open up to the second floor, and you can see there's a I don't know, is that gabled ceilings, angled ceilings up there, high ceilings. And you walk in, to your left, you've got a living room, or family room, or whatever you'd like to call it. Nice little area, window to each side. Looking back at the front door, this is kind of an odd setup, but there's an identical closet on each side. And I'll show you why I believe he did it this way. I think he did all this himself. But all of the vents for your heating and air conditioning are run through these to get up to the second floor. As you walk over here into the kitchen, you got like a little dining room area. And then you've got your kitchen over here. Like I said, he made all these himself. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just old school stuff. Like, most people aren't gonna put this kind of hardware on cabinets anymore. It's all gonna be hidden hinges. But there are a lot of cabinets in here. And, you know, they're all done decently. The corner ones on the bottom are a little odd. Most people would have like a Lazy Susan type thing here, but there's just a big cavernous cabinet here. On both sides, it's kind of the same way. But we think we're gonna do a little bit of different remodeling here eventually, maybe get rid of this, and we'll move the refrigerator over to that side. Over here we have the washer and dryer. Don't love that it's here, but it is what it is. We're gonna probably end up replacing these at some point, but it did come with washer and dryer, and they're right there off the kitchen. There's a light in there that we can turn on, but there you go. And yeah, there's all the plans for the house. And I was right. It is 40 by 64. So let's go ahead and head to one of the coolest spots, which is the basement, because most places like this, or most barndominiums that I know of, don't actually have basements in them. But here in Nebraska, we do have the risk of tornadoes and bad weather in the summer, so it is very beneficial to have a basement that you can go down and hide in. So, basement door, I've already turned all the lights on. This is an unfinished basement, which is really nice. We don't technically need all the space, you know, it's just my wife and I, so having this as storage is going to be incredibly beneficial. But you walk down here and you've got your HVAC system, like I was talking about how that stuff, the trunks go up for the upper stuff on the second floor, but you can see everything else. So you've just got quite a bit of space down here. And then on this side, basically the same thing. It's like well stuff. There's some extra windows that came with the house. An old door, which I don't think is from this place, but you know, there are a couple extra windows in here. We may end up trying to install this stuff somewhere. That's like a pressure tank for the well pump, because we are in a well out here. See all of this. There's an egress window because you could put a bedroom or whatever you wanted down here, and then it would be technically conforming. We'd like to do that, and I'll show you why when we get upstairs. But you've got the other side here, and it's going to be a great basement that we can put up a bunch of shelving, and we'll be able to store everything we want down here. I don't know where I'm going to do my live streams or kind of have my office at. We might end up doing the lives out in the shop because we're going to have a lot of space out there. But it was nice to have my little live stream area in the basement at the old place. to have the stuff hanging on the wall. So we might end up doing that down here. I'm not exactly sure. We'll figure that out once we get all of our junk moved in. But I wanted to show you guys the place before we filled it up with our crap. All right, that's the basement. Let's get headed upstairs. What?
Guess what else there's room for downstairs?
What?
Merch.
Oh yeah, the merch room is gonna be downstairs. The missus is here somewhere.
I'm upstairs.
She's upstairs. All right, let's head upstairs. I'll close this. We've got a hallway here that goes up. One thing that we'd love to do, and I'll show you a little bit more as we go upstairs, but I think we would like to, if we could knock this section of the wall down, that would be great to kind of open up the room a little bit more. If anything, knock this down and just change this all to railing so that opens that space up. But kind of the same thing here. It'd be nice if this was railing that was open to the top. And as you walk up here, turn the corner, having this all be railing, that would be open to the bottom, because you can see this would open way up if this was all an open railing, because there's the front door right there. And so here's where it gets kind of odd. As you come up and you go to the left, there's your master bedroom closet right here, which is nice. It's a big walk-in closet. It's plenty of room in here. You do have attic access, but you walk out, this is your master bedroom. There's no door. It's completely open to the bottom. Here, why don't you hold on to that? The missus is here with me. So it's a really odd setup. And you know, as an older gentleman that lived here by himself, and we don't have kids, so this is gonna be perfect for us. But it's odd. I don't know, we do want to close this off and like actually turn this into a bedroom. Kind of the future plan is to be able to actually turn this into like a 2 or 3 bedroom, technically conforming place for in the future when we decide to sell it. Like, we're gonna live here for a while, but we want to change that stuff up. So that will definitely bring the value of the house up. This was listed as a 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom. So there's the master bath, which is right here.
Which also doesn't have a door.
Once again, no door on it. And this could all use some work also. Like, my wife doesn't like the shower. You know, it'd be nice to just have a big tile like walk-in.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need a bathtub or not. I'll probably use it at least once. It is nice that we have a big window in here that, you know, you can sit in the bathtub and look out. And then, like, here's more cabinetry. He built this whole thing himself also, which, like, there's nothing wrong with it, but we'll probably end up taking this out of here at some point. But it is nice. It'll be a nice storage for now because, as you can see, there is no medicine cabinet or nothing under the sink. That's the only bathroom storage that we have. So eventually we'd love to redo this entire bathroom. It's just going to be as time and money permits. So that's how that goes. But you walk across here, and I think this is what they were considering to be the second bedroom. Technically, it is not a conforming bedroom because there's no closet in here. But it's big enough. Like, this is what we're going to use as our guest bedroom for now. They'll just get to see us when they walk out the bedroom door laying in our bed.
Oh, wow.
It is what it is. It's all stuff that we can improve upon. And it's, you know, I feel like we got a little bit of a deal on this place because of how it was put together. Most people, if you have kids, you probably weren't going to pick this property because of the way it's set up and whatnot. But who knows? So you walk back out here, and it's basically, this side is the exact opposite of that side. The missus has already claimed this as her craft room.
We can share it if you want. I just figured that you had plans for stuff out in the shop. So.
Yeah. I've got a big shop space, and the shop is, the footprint of the shop is bigger than the footprint of the house.
Of the entire house.
Of the entire house. But there's 3 levels over here, so there's quite a bit of room. I guess to kind of touch on it, the house that we're moving out of is a 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, but it's probably about the same size living space.
I don't know. I keep forgetting, and I truly don't feel like they had the listing square footage right.
Probably not.
But
it's probably about even. If not, this might be a little bit smaller because the basement isn't finished. Technically, how they have it is like finished square footage. But we do have a lot more storage because in the old house, the whole basement was finished. The only real storage we had was a little bit in the laundry room and then underneath the steps and in the garage, which was full of my junk. So we do actually have storage. And like she said, that's where all the merch will eventually be.
I honestly don't know where we would have put it at our house.
Yeah.
We would have made room, but this will be nice to have storage for that. Although we don't want to keep it around when it's ready to go. You guys need to be ready to buy it.
She's going to be hounding me to sell you guys stuff. It's going to pain me. But it's really cool. I love the fact that this is open to the bottom. Like I said, if we can open these up with railings, it'll be great. I don't know how we're going to close this side off to make that a legitimate bedroom. I would love to somehow keep, like, I say a glass wall, or like have windows on this whole side or something, so you still get all that light coming through from that side of the house. But we'll see how all that goes. That's years in the future at this point. But there's a lot of potential here. The guy did have cats, so there's a little cat walkway on the front window over there, which is kind of cool. I did mention that I think most of the stuff here was done by him as the homeowner, and one of the big tells is the way this tile looks down here. I can show that to you guys. So anybody at construction is probably going to be able to see that and kind of see what I'm talking about before I even mention it. For you guys that aren't in construction or have never done anything like that, if you're going to run tiles like this in a room, you usually want to start in the center and work each way off of that. This is not centered. And you can see he just started on one side, I think in the hallway down there, and ran it out this way. So this is a little zoomed out, but on this side, the kitchen floor comes a couple inches into this closet area before it terminates. And then on this side, it's exactly even with the end of this, because that's just where the last tile dropped. So that's not the way you want to do it, but it works and it's there. Not super mad about it, but it is annoying to have that old construction eye and you look down and that's the type of stuff that you see. But it is what it is. All right, let's head downstairs and I'll show you the shop, which is my favorite part. Well, I think all the trees outside are probably my favorite part. The shop is just the icing on the cake. I got my own little forest. All right, so you head down the hallway here. This is your second bathroom, which just has a shower, so there's no tub in here, but it's a full bathroom, so this will technically be the guest bath. Eventually, I think the guest bedroom would go into the basement, and then they would have a guest bath down here. That way we're not on the same level, but it is what it is. All right. And here we have the best room of the house. This is a 40 by 40 shop. And it came with the mower, which is a 22 horsepower V-twin, so I got all the horsepowers. But the shop is amazing. 16-foot ceilings, so we could definitely add a loft on the back here on this side from the house door. You've got windows on each side, so we've got 4 windows in here. There's a big exhaust vent in the ceiling, which is really nice. And then our doors, that is 14 foot by 14 foot. So I will be able to drive whatever I want into this shop. That's huge. That one, I believe, is 8 by 10. So even my truck will fit through that door, the small door, which is incredibly nice. This is also heated and cooled. There's a heat pump through the wall right there. And I've got that thing running and it's set to 60 and it is keeping this thing perfect. We weren't able to tell if this was actually insulated, but it's got to be the way it's warm in here. We did have a home inspection and all that done, but the attic access is 16 feet up and our inspector was not able to get in there, but it has to be insulated. One of the bummers is there was a lift in here and they took the lift out before they listed the property for sale. I really wish they would have left it in here, but you guys might be able to see the bolts in the floor right here from the lift, and then they do have power that was dropped. So that's all here. I really want to get a lift put in as soon as possible. We'll see what I can do. If there's anybody out there with connections and you can get me a hookup on a lift, hit me up. Ben Pack, if you're watching, Ben Pack, nudge, nudge. And yeah, it's a great shop. There's power everywhere. That is a 200 amp, 240 volt box. We got 200 amps coming into the house. And even on the power pole outside, we have RV hookups outside. So somebody could come plug an RV into our power pole, which is really nice. Yeah, super stoked on this. Guys, we've got so much room. And like I said, in this corner probably, I would love to put a loft in over here. It would be really cool to put one all the way across, but given the location of the lift, I don't think you could do that, and I don't think you could move the lift back because then the vehicle would hit the garage door or the tank down up there. So we're kind of limited in that space. But other than that, everything I have should be able to fit all my toys and junk in here. So we've got to get to moving that stuff, but I'll have access to the boat, which I'm sure you guys will enjoy. We'll be able to get that thing out. But I'll go ahead and pop this door open back here and kind of show you that side of the property, I guess. Come out, the tree line, the fence line is right here for the back side of our property, and then it's fields. This will all be corn next year, so I'll be surrounded by corn. There are game trails through here, so fingers crossed we might see a random deer go through here. We might be able to hit them with the bow. There are plenty of squirrels out here, and squirrels are in season, so I could actually be cooking up some squirrels right now. But if you look at the back of the house here, so there's the back of the house. You've got the big door and the little door right there. We've got a man door right here. We do have a second driveway on the back here, which is nice. It's going to be, I'm really excited to show it to you guys in the summer when there's going to be leaves on all the trees and everything like that. I do want to plant more of like spruce trees, you know, an evergreen, probably an evergreen tree line out there, because there's a ton of work down here. As far as these older trees go, a lot of these do need to be trimmed up and cleaned up. There's junk everywhere from the last few windstorms that have blown through here. Like there's a piece laying on my fence right there on my barbed wire. Oh, the wife just saw a rabbit. But we've got some property over here. They had a fire pit going on over there, it looks like. There's the side of the house. We would like to add a couple more windows probably on that side, maybe like a screen door over here. And the house needs gutters. There's no gutters on here. So that is also one of the things that are high on the list that we need to take care of. Anything like this should have gutters on it. So that's probably going to be a pretty penny to put gutters. That's what, 120 feet of gutters. Yeah, so you can see there was a little fire pit here. We'll see what we do with that. And then yeah, we've got our power pole with camper hookups on it. There we go. Get headed back inside, get that garage door shut. I don't know if the wife shut. Don't want that. Don't want my heat pump to have to work overtime. Know what I'm saying? Oh, I guess maybe you guys can kind of notice this concrete needs probably replaced. It's busted up over here. It does look like they've already tried to jack the concrete up once. So that's not doing too hot. It definitely settled quite a bit over here also. I mean, there's a little lip. It is what it is. I'm still, like, I ain't complaining about that at all. Door closed. So it's nice that this does have an opener on it. I would like to add one to this door. It's probably going to be a little bit of money because that is 14 foot by 14 foot and it is insulated. And then probably add more lights. Although on this camera, it doesn't look terrible, I guess. We do have a sink and whatnot out here. And then all the power we could need. If you go over here, it does have, I assume this is probably 50 amp. I don't know. I'll have to check, but we've got a big plug in here. Lights everywhere. Like, we'll see if we can get this one to turn on. But I'm assuming before he put these LEDs up, he had probably 4 to 6 of these old school like street lights. They take a while to turn on and they suck up a lot of electricity. But yeah, it's got a big old school street light in here. And you can see that he had them hanging up. Just turn that guy back off. So yeah, need to get a lift in here, 100%. I'd love to do a loft on this side. And then we could probably have our like little office and live stream area up there, which would be amazing. All the power you need off of this thing. I don't know if we'll keep these cabinets or not, but yeah, welder setup. He's got the lift over here, shop heat pump, everything you can need. Close, there we go. And he must have had a Kawasaki, but I'm gonna take that down. Overall, I'm super excited. This whole place needs cleaned up. Not only outside, but inside. You can probably tell that it looks kind of dingy in here. I think he was running, he did a lot of woodwork. And then the walls are they're just dusty and dirty. Like, you can lick your finger and you can get a lot of that to come off of there, you know? So it all needs cleaned up. So that's gonna take a ton of work, especially the ceiling. You can see the ceiling is kind of dingy and you can see like different areas where it attracted more of the dust and dirt. And then yeah, there's a whole house fan, like a shutter fan. There's just on a switch right there. And it just sucks all the air out. So in the summer when it's like humid out here, I could probably open the door or open the windows or something and just pull all that air out. And it'll be like having an air conditioner instead of running that thing. Yeah, let's head back into the house. I do need to get a man lift in here because I do want to look into the attic, but we'll need one for cleaning everything anyway. So that's one of those in the future things. And that's about it, guys. I'm sure there's something I'm forgetting. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to let you guys know any of that stuff, I guess, if you have questions. But there's just a ton of work out here with all of this junk that needs to be cleaned up. Like, there's just a random piece of sheet metal laying on the ground right here. I don't know if that's aluminum or what that is, but that needs to be cleaned up also, you know. There's just a lot of little things like that need to take place. It's going to take some time. I can't put the hard effort into it like I wish I could, but we'll still be able to put plenty of effort into this. We need to probably rent some equipment and whatnot, unless you've got some equipment and you want to do a pro boner job. Get a hold of me. But other than that, I think we're just going to go ahead and close this one out here. We spent 15 years in the last house. We got to thinking about it, and that is the longest I've ever lived in one spot. So we've been there for a long time. It's kind of a big deal to move. It is a big life-changing event, but you know, considering the life-changing events that I had happen to me this year, it was kind of one of those things where it was we just got to make it happen. Let's just make it happen, and here we are. We got a lot of work ahead of us, but I'm really excited about this. I hope the missus behind the camera is just as excited as I am. But yeah, we're definitely going to be posting updates. The inside of the house is going to take a long time. We're going to do a ton of work in the shop. There's going to be so many projects. I've got things going in my head now. We've got the ability to build whatever we want for adventures. And then we've got all this space out here that we can use. I would love to build a tree house. I'd love to build like an underground little hidey hole, like a hobbit house. There's so many possibilities and so many cool things we can do out here. We'll figure that out. We may film a camp video out here before we get everything moved in. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, guys, I'm excited for this. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. Definitely hit the like button if you want to see more of this content. It'll definitely let me know if you guys want to see that. But yeah, I don't know. I could keep rambling on for a while on this one, but I'm just going to close it out here. Stay tuned for the next adventure. I'll see you in a bit.